May as well talk about this with the microphones on, because we just talked about it with the microphones off, didn't we? It's a strange situation to be in going into this game. You can't qualify for the knockout stage of the trophy, nor can your opponents. How does that affect the thinking around the game and around what you want to get out of it? Because ultimately, you would want to be qualifying and you can't.
It's still one of those games, Dan, where you want to still win the game, but you've got lads who are going to come in and get game time, which will help us because obviously we've got no 20s football. So for them to go out and get game time, get a bit fitter on the pitch for the Saturday's game, to be selected for that.
How much have the changes in this competition in recent years made it a development competition? Certainly for the Premier League academies, but even to an extent for the Football League teams.
Yeah, it's really hard. As you say, if you look at the situation we're in tomorrow where no team can qualify, it's not great really. So I can't see being many people turning up for the game. But as I said to you just then, it's good to get lads game time for us. So that's the main thing tomorrow, game time and no injuries.
You, Jed, have been an under-23s coach, a development coach, if you will. Does that give you a good perspective on keeping a level head about this and not focusing too much on what's at stake in the game, but what you can get out of it in terms of what players can gain from it? Yeah,
it's great the other way around. When you're at 23s or 21s now, I loved it when we got our players a chance to play in first team fixtures and it give them a chance to show what they can do. So the other way around, it's really good. But when you're a first team playing against the 23s team, it's really tough when you've got nothing to play for. But as you say, as I say again, it's game time for the lads.
How difficult is it with the setup you've got at the moment? Because obviously you did have an academy, you did have an under-23s, under-21s setup. Now you've essentially got one first team group with a variety of different age profiles in it. How hard is it to give those less experienced ones really important exposure to the first team and to actually play in competitive games?
It's tough. It's tough because the lads need to play games, and obviously with no 23s football, they can't. So they have to train extra hard, and when they're ready to be called up in the first team, it's hard for them to come straight in and be match fit because they're not playing games. But they've covered it well up to now, and every day in training is really high tempo because of it, because the lads are trying to stay on top of the game, and they're all getting used to it at the minute.
How much do you have to rely on, therefore? I think you call them bounce games, don't you? But sort of behind closed doors, friendlies and games that are there to give players game time. Is that something that happens quite regularly?
Well, we'd like to, but because we've had injuries in the past, we haven't had enough players to have bounce games. So now the lads are coming back, we can start having bounce games for them. Hopefully no injuries, so we'll be able to manage 11 players on the pitch for a bounce game.
How difficult has the injury situation been? I know there's been an element of trying not to bring anyone back too soon or take too many unnecessary risks, but when your group becomes quite small, does that make it quite difficult?
It's really tough, especially when your main players are injured. Some of your main players, something like obviously Sean and Tyler, they're on the way back now, and you can see what it's done for the teams, give everyone a lift. So it's really tough when you've got a small squad, but we've managed in the past, and we know what we've got, and we'll be fine.
Just as far as players getting an opportunity in this game, is it too simple to say it'll be the younger players? I guess in a previous time when you had a lot of maybe first year pros or academy players, you'd be able to fast track those guys. You've not got as many of those now. You've got 2 or 3 of those younger guys, I think, in your changing room. Will it be more about the amount of game time they've had, the amount of football they've played this season rather than their age?
No, Dan, they're all professional footballers we've got here now. As you say, we haven't got apprentices or whatever you call them, scholars now. So they're all pros, so we will be very strong tomorrow. And we're not playing against the Mickey Mouse, we're playing against Leeds. They'll turn up with a really good team. So it will be a good game, even though there's nothing to play for. It will be a good game, and our lads will be showing us what they've got so we can select them for Saturday.
What does your analysis tell you about this young group of Leeds players? I appreciate there could be a broad range of players potentially who could play, but from this competition so far, what have you seen of them?
Well, as you say, Dan, we don't know what they're going to bring tomorrow, whether they're going to bring 18s, whether they're going to bring the 21s, we just don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but we've watched them play against Fleetwood, and the typical 21s team, they're really all technically very good, all good pass to the ball, and they try and build up from the back. So what we can't do is turn it into a 21s football match. We've got to turn it into a man's game, a very physical game, and see what we can get out of that.
Does your experience tell you that these under-21 setups are like their club's first team? There's a sort of template through the age groups, or is under-21s football across the board different?
In my opinion, I think 21s football is a totally different game. We've been to watch players in the past playing children's football with they haven't headed the ball, with they haven't made a tackle. It's just all about technique and passing the ball and playing off patterns, and it's not really, as you say, first team football where everything depends on the points and the win of the game. So it's a totally different game, I think. So we can't turn into a 21s football match because they'll be very good at it, to be fair, and we don't want to be chasing shadows tomorrow.
Forgive a daft question, but although you can't get through, is it important to win?
100%. It gives the team a lift, the squad, the morale, the fans. We get another green tick on the boards. Yeah, we definitely want to win the game tomorrow, 100%.
Because I suppose there's that momentum element of it going into a league game at the weekend, but the sort of bottom line is there's some money to play for, isn't there?
Definitely, yeah. Money for the club, and it's a game of football. You want to win a game of football. We're unbeaten in 3 now, so hopefully we make it 4 and go on to Saturday's game.
Is that in your mind that you can sort of throw the cup competitions in there and it can generate a bit of something for your league campaign?
Of course it does, and it gives you confidence, doesn't it? It gives the squad confidence, believing we haven't been beat for a while. We're going to carry on this run and go on and run and make it even longer. We want to go on as long as we can without getting beat, and tomorrow's no exception. We're going to go right into the game looking to win the game.
And you've already touched on it. This competition is not generally in the group stages something that appeals to fans generally. What would you say to your supporters if they're wavering over whether to come down or not? What might they see? What might make it worthwhile for them?
Well, you'll definitely see a good game of football. You'll definitely see a lot of effort from our team, and the team that we're going to put out tomorrow is going to be very strong. As I said, they're all professional footballers, and they'll all be having a right go tomorrow. They won't be leaving nothing behind.
And just lastly on this competition generally, I guess you'll have been involved in quite a few incarnations of it as a player, as a coach, now as an assistant manager. Where do you think this competition stands for clubs in League Two? It's a difficult thing to go all the way to Wembley and win it. There's group games, some of which are against under-21s teams that historically don't tend to appeal to supporters. How do you guys feel about preparing for this competition?
As you say, Dan, it's tough because obviously you've got the league above it as well. So as you say, it's tough to get to Wembley. If you do, it's a miracle. There's some big teams in Division 1, so it's really tough. But looking the other way around, it's great for the 21s football, for their development to come in and play against immense football, if you like. So it lets the clubs see what they're all about. So looking at it from their side, it's quite good.
Is there, in the longer term, a potential that you can look at the under-21s teams that are in it, maybe look at individual players and even do some potential scouting for future moves for January?
Definitely, that's exactly what we do. We always go and watch these games, look at them on Scouts and see what's available. And obviously, young Isaac Heath, he was one that we see him playing for the 21s in this competition. So there's a lot of players you look at, and you're always got your eye out on the other team. See, obviously they're all good players, they're all technically very good. So you look at them, see what they're like against men.